Oh, I'm unmuted already. Okay, good morning. It's great to see you guys here. Thank you so much for joining us again. I know I've spoken a lot this month. So so the fact that you're still here really is impressive to me. Thank you so much for joining us today, where love lifts us up where we belong. Yeah. So this month of June has found us reveling in the revealing of a higher, deeper love than we have heretofore given ourselves over to. Nice to know that that can happen, huh? We are all here, have our thoughts and our own feelings about love and what that means to us. And really, it's pretty rare that anyone has an experienced love, or everyone has an experienced love in some form or other. But the love we're seeking to gain greater understanding of appears to go so much further than the outer reaches of our experiences. Love truly is the be all and the end all. It's the divine givingness of spirit from itself to itself through all that it's created. So this love is all encompassing, we know that, ever present, eternal, and unconditional. It knows nothing outside of itself. It's the harmonizing force of all things. Love unifies us. It makes us aware of our oneness with all of life. So, my topic today is love lifts us up where we belong. And where exactly is that? Hopefully, it's right smack dab in the middle of loving, if we can assimilate the message. The contents of our weekly topics this month have endeavored to help us get there. Thank goodness. To a higher, deeper concept of what love is. We're being urged to reach for a much grander, all encompassing version of love as we now know it, something that goes far beyond that. The love of God knows no boundaries. It can produce miracles. It heals minds, bodies, and spirits, and yeah, leaps tall buildings in a single bound. Sorry, I couldn't resist that last one. Hey, it actually does fit right along with the supernatural love that God has here. So let's elevate our consciousnesses, open our hearts, and experience that kind of love. I just think that's heavenly, don't you? Yeah. We've taken a look at the meaning of love in our lives to the best of our ability. We've thought about how it shows up and what it feels like to us. And then there's the realization that as humans, we are definitely social beings, desiring to make connections and be accepted by self and others. We were made for loving ourselves and one another. So I say get on the soul train and get with the program. It's only natural. Where do we belong? Up in the higher echelons of love. No doubt about that. Our Sunday topics this month have cataloged the importance of being proactive about love if we're to have more of it in our lives. There's plenty of love to go around, yeah. It doesn't withhold itself from anyone or anything, it just is. Love can't go against its own nature. The degree to which we express and experience love is completely up to us. Yeah? Yeah. How do we go about giving ourselves greater access to it? Well, as is the usual here, we start with loving ourselves. We cultivate within us a tendency to be thoughtful and caring with ourselves. I was doing something recently, exerting effort about something, and I happened to look down and there's this bag sitting there, and at the bottom of the bag it says, please treat gently. I thought, oh, okay. And it actually did say contents fragile. does that does that correctly name anyone here? It would me. Yeah, please treat me gently. And that goes for you, Debbie. You listen to yourself. So we recognize that we are the very essence of spirit and form. Love is what we're made of. And extending that love to ourselves honors that presence in us. This means, in essence, cherishing who we are as we are. There's kind of the kicker there. Cherishing yourself, warts and all. We are divine beings having a human experience, and that's by design. We seek out and open up to a new vision of what love means to us. The natural progression of this is that we go about being personification of divine love in our daily lives. Oh boy, I can't really say that about myself all the time. Once in a great while, yeah. We have so many examples of love all around us if we just have eyes to see them and the presence to recognize them. Love is a multifaceted, dynamic, and dimensional thing. It's a little bit like the weeds growing in our yards. The more we have of them, the more they propagate. Same with love. The more we employ it, the more of it we have to employ. Makes sense to me. If we can enfold ourselves in the cyclical action of love, our lives become that love in action. This is where we move out into the world as harmony and inclusion. Looking past appearances, love gives us new eyes to see and a new way of expressing. Remember this: it's never the situation that matters, that's so important, but rather how we are being in that situation. That's what matters. I think that's a really important thing. So, the market teaser for my topic today says this: we're navigating life's complexities as one. What's before us, our collective past, present, and future, is ours to bravely face, feel, and ultimately heal. Ask yourself, how am I actively co creating a world that represents this higher, deeper self, this higher, deeper love? I think it has to start with us realizing that we are all in this together. It's easy to feel that that's not so. Our humanity automatically dictates this. It's a fact. We're all in this together. However, there's nothing in the rule book of life that says we have to agree with that or even strive to work towards it. You're allowed to isolate yourself or keep yourself separate from others. But recognizing our oneness is an awareness that we cultivate. And there's a reason we do that. It's a realization that one has that leads to making a choice in how we utilize it, how we use it, and actually determines the amount of goodness that we can accept and experience in to boot. hmm Working together is definitely a choice. We're given the options to isolate or unite. Of course, once we've decided to unite, we will all need to come to an agreement on what our desired goal might be. Yeah, this is where it could get a little bit sticky. So, as I assume that we all want to live peaceably, which may not be true, uniting to create a war machine just really doesn't fit my ideal scenario. However, if we have truly grasped the concept of oneness, making war wouldn't make much sense, would it? Since we are all one, we need not be at war with ourselves. As I've already noted, we are all in this together. How much more might we accomplish when we coalesce, marshaling all of our resources and working together for a common good? I mean, come on, people. Even insects naturally follow this protocol in order to survive. That's really true. I mean, one lone little ant isn't likely to be able to build much of an anthill all by itself. Yet, by working together, a colony of them can create quite an impressive structure, one that's vital to their survival and existence. So here's a question for all of us: aren't we on the same footing as those ants? Doesn't everything here come from the same source? Knowing what I believe, I have to say yes, yes, it does. So, if so, then it follows that all things are endowed with divine intelligence. Perhaps some of those things are just seem to be a bit better at using it than others. Don't let it be said that the ants are better at using the divine intelligence than you. Please, God, let us humans endeavor to work together to create a world that works for all. And I'm pretty sure that this actually would please God. It would certainly exemplify a higher power that is only love. So, this is where ideals, ethics, and morality come into play. What kind of world do you want to live in? What kind of communities do you want to be part of? I'm not talking about the weather when I say the climate we co create together is our barometer for assessing the atmosphere we are living in, and not so incidentally helping to create. Mhm. Judgment and anger only create more of the same in our communities and our world. Exclusion creates resentment and alienation. It surely doesn't lead to cooperation and buy in. So it really does behoove us to start working together towards something that works for everyone. What we put out, we know, is what we get back. Refusal to accept one another and work together in harmony leads to discord and chaos. We've had some good examples of that, haven't we? Nothing works out very well in this type of climate. We'll find then when we dust off our ideals, lean into our ethics, and proceed as though these things actually matter, life flows so much easier for us. We accomplish so much more when we can be united and working together. The Science of Mind text tells us that love is a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. Isn't that awesome? Let's harness that force and watch what happens. It's a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. Yeah. As humans, I think we don't resist being loved, hopefully, or giving it. So, with all the power of the universe behind us, how can we possibly be anything less than successful? That actually puts me in mind of something a friend said to me many, many years ago. She said, "You can catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar." Guess who was putting out the vinegar? Yep, it was me. So my immediate response to her was, "Yes, but that's so disingenuous. You're kind of being a liar, you know?" But in fact, she was right, of course. Perhaps sometimes a white lie is the better part of candor. After all, if we can't be civil and make connections with each other, we won't be accomplishing much together, will we? So yeah, I have to think about being better with the honey, being more generous with the honey, and less so with the vinegar, right? An amicable connection devoid of condemnation or anger is what is needed here. Approaching others with an open mind gives us an advantage of possibility with that person. We slam the door shut if we don't allow for possibility with these people, with each other. Yeah. A negative, challenging demeanor allows the door to be shut. And then what hope do we have of getting along and cooperating? Best that we keep that door open with a more inclusive and positive approach. A main component of all of this is our mental climate. We've spent a lifetime compiling the elements of this outlook on life, our perspective on things. According to the mental climate we've created for ourselves over the years, we decide the level of good that we're comfortable with accepting in our lives. Does that make sense? Yes. I think it makes total sense. We all know our thoughts, beliefs, experiences, and emotions play a role in our outlook on life and what we deserve from it, or what we think we deserve from it. What we fill our inner spaces with determines our outer reactions. And that's actually, to me, the definition of change your thinking, change your life. Maybe a more apt way of putting it would be change your beliefs, change your life. Whatever works for you. So, actually, by natural order of things, I was born a middle child. I have an older sister and a younger brother, which puts me squarely in the position of compromise, or so. That's the role I adopted for myself in this lifetime. As a child, when my family went on trips in the car, who do you think you'd find sitting in the middle position in the back seat? Why, yes, that would be me, giving both my siblings the choice positions of the window seats. I don't recall if we actually traded off our seating arrangements, probably on longer trips we did. And um, I wonder if, in fact, the the fact that I got car sick was a side effect of my middle position. Could be. As the window sitters, neither my brother nor my sister had this same problem. The car sickness did afford me a degree of consideration from the family. I guess my thoughts would be that it really doesn't matter so much where I sit. What I think about that is what matters. And I truly believe that. This spills over into other areas of my life where I think a lot of times I don't need this, or I don't have to have that, or that just kind of comes as second nature to me. I often use the phrase, it doesn't really matter to me when presented with a choice. And perhaps maybe it should matter a little bit more. That would make me more decisive anyway, I think. It probably impedes my ability to make choices for myself sometimes. Yeah. Often I think I see things as I want them to be, not so much as they look to others. And I'm actually okay with that. There's definitely things that really just don't matter, such as driving around in an older model car that is close to falling apart. It doesn't bother me to do that. What matters in that instance is how well the car is working and how much longer it will continue to get me where I want to go. Don't judge a book by its cover. And actually, there's so much more to me than can be seen by the appearance of my car. Can it be that I don't mind the idea of sometimes challenging others to look a bit farther than the end of their own noses for the value that might be found? I always liked Peter Falk, his role in the TV show Columbo. He was always like seemingly rather bumbling around and ineffectual, when in truth that was the total opposite of things, wasn't it? Suffice it to say, I truly do appreciate my car, and I tell it so every time I get in it, and it starts. Yeah. I've accepted that I don't have to have it all in order to be happy. Perhaps that's a stumbling block to my greater good. I really don't know about that. I can say that I don't feel especially shortchanged by life. I've been so blessed in so many ways. However, I'd be really happy if I felt well taken care of. That is to say, I'd like to free myself from worry about the future and my position going forward. I believe I'm doing better about trusting the universe to support me in all areas of my life. I'll give myself some homework, and I'll let you guys decide for yourselves what your homework might be. Mine will be to write 50 times, "The universe conspires to bring me my good, and then some. I have instant, constant, and abundant supply." And I'll end that with Amen. Yeah. So, all right, enough about me. And here's an inspiring story that bears witness to the power of love. It comes from our CSL home office. In 2013, Brian Martindale was down to his last piece of gum. Do tell. That same craving led him out the door on a walk to a local shop, Liberty Food Store in Bay City, Michigan. Inside, he picked up a copy of the Bay City Times and was instantly drawn to the front page. There was a photo of a young girl in a princess dress alongside a heart wrenching story. a mother desperately seeking a kidney donor for her 10-year-old daughter, Jessica Schwerin. It's said in the story that she had the same blood type that Brian had, so he knew he could possibly be a match. He actually anonymously tested about a month later at the University of Michigan Transplant Center. He found out 2 weeks before Thanksgiving that year that he was an exact match. So Martindale, who had never met Jessica or her family, felt compelled to act. After discovering that he was a match for Jessica, within months he donated one of his kidneys to her. The two of them kept in touch as time went on, and Jessica became like a daughter to him and his wife. Reflecting on that day, Martindale said, "If I wouldn't have had the chewing gum thing, if I wouldn't have run out of that last stick, I would have just gone home that night. I would have never seen the newspaper with the story about Jessica." The experience opened his eyes to the thousands of children in need of kidney transplants. Wanting to do more, he founded the nonprofit Kidneys for Kids in 2022 and launched a nationwide initiative called Driving for Life. Behind the wheel of a donated car, Brian Martindale traveled across the U.S., logging over 7,000 miles in the first year. That number climbed 10,000 the next, and in 2025 he surpassed 25,000 miles. His goal is bold and heartfelt: to help connect 100 kidney donors with 100 children. We've literally circled the earth to find kidney donors for children over the last 4 years, he said. So that's the end of that quote. There are over 121,000 people in the U.S. on the waiting list to receive kidneys. Approximately 2,000 of them are children under the age of 18. This is what love can do. It's called sacred activism. CSL defines it as sacred activism. Sacred activism is the intersection where consciousness becomes action, where prayer becomes movement, and where spiritual principle becomes practice. Wow, what a novel idea, huh? Sacred activism is the activity of bringing our CSL global vision into reality. That can happen, folks. The author of our June topics clarified this further for us in the following quote: "The world we envision demands our active participation, recognizing that systemic change, mutual aid, and reparative practices are vital expressions of love. It's in these efforts that the invisible threads of connection become visible, revealing where collective attention can heal deep wounds." That's pretty powerful stuff. We must honor the paradox that progress and imperfection coexist, acknowledging strides forward while remaining mindful of persistent challenges. This journey isn't about achieving a flawless state, but about continuous, conscious engagement. What systems are we called to understand or influence with love? Where can our actions foster greater equity and visible support? How are we actively embracing the sacred work of co-creating a world that truly reflects our deepest truths and highest love? And that's the end of that quote. And those are all really good questions, aren't they? Things that perhaps we can sit with and think about and then take action on. Sacred activism was certainly at play when Brian Martindale felt compelled to take action by donating a kidney to young Jessica. What he did, in fact, what he did, in fact, was save her life. Excuse me. I doubt that he spent much time agonizing about whether or not he should or shouldn't do it. He was just acting from a heartfelt space of caring and the certainty that it was the right thing for him to do. Sorry, this is getting me where I live. And I've read this several times already without crying. It's you guys. It's your fault. So Brian followed his inner urge that prompted him to act, and that in itself was heroic, yeah? And then did he stop there? Heck no. He surely did not. As a result of the experience he had with Jessica, he determined that he wanted to do even more to help the kids who needed transplants. His sacred activism extended outward when he established the Kidneys for Kids Foundation in 2022. There he was, getting others involved to get the word out about donating. And if that wasn't enough, Brian created the nationwide program he named Driving for Life. In order to spread his message about kidney donation, Brian travels across the U.S. connecting with others all over the country. His mission is to help the kids who need the help. All of this transpired because one man walked to the corner store to replenish his supply of gum. We should all be so inspired to become sacred activists. Who thought gum could be such an important item? It's love that lifts us up where we belong, a love that goes far beyond our greatest imaginings. If we desire to live in a world that reflects our deepest truths, we will need to love it into being. Love it into being, literally. As we tap into a higher love, we let it move us into action in our world. Home Office tells us that by consciously choosing love as our guiding principle, we actively manifest a future that resonates with our highest aspirations for humanity. Wow, I love that. I want to live in that world. How about you? So let us be in tune with the infinite, paying attention to our inner guidance. Let love lead us, heart, mind, and spirit, into action, right up there where we belong. Hey, and maybe go out and buy a pack of gum, too. I say amen to that, and so it is. So, give me a moment, and then let's, if you will, join me in a closing prayer. When we know the truth which sets us free. The truth is we are love informed. The truth is there is only one heart, one mind, one love, one experience ever taking place, and it is God, the omnipresent good. We are filled with it. We are surrounded by it. We are it. And so we work on the realization of that, making the connection with it at a deeper and higher level than ever before. We all have the capacity to do that. We are all so capable, so blessed, and so blessing of everything. Everything we say and do is a blessing. Keep that in mind. Allow it to be so. Cultivate the activity of spirit within yourself, the love, the peace, the support and supply that brings us. The universe is ever at the ready to give you whatever it is you need, whatever it is you want. And there is always plenty of it. And so let us take these thoughts into our being and recognize the truth of them and live from that space of sacred activism, where we go and do and be evermore, where we rise up and proclaim our belief in truth and the fact that we can live it in this world. Each one of us has the capacity to do that. And together we are triumphant. Together we do live in peace in a world that is equitable for everyone, inclusive of everyone and everything. Thank you, God, that this is so. And please join me in saying, and so it is.